Welcome to the Legal Survival Show. I'm attorney and law professor James Hirsen, and as you know, we have a different kind of talk show here each week at this time. We talk about legal concepts and survival concepts, and are you being watched right now? Could you be being watched? Well, maybe not right now, but in the future, you could be watched. Can you believe that in Congress, a proposed piece of legislation is titled the We Are Watching You Act of 2013? Who is watching you? You got to stay tuned here on the Legal Survival Show, where though we talk about law, we don't try to create an attorney-client relationship, and we don't try to substitute a radio show for the kind of advice you would get from an attorney in your area. But this is a public service of the nonprofit Justice and Freedom Fund. And, you know, we have a website and a place for you to leave messages. By the way, I want to give a big thank you to Melinda for a very special message that she left on a toll-free message line. That's toll-free, 888-260-4460. If you can take this down, it's toll-free, 888-260-4460. And we're going to talk about this. It has to do with your television. It has to do with hardware that you use to watch TV. So you definitely don't want to go anywhere here on the Legal Survival Show. This is James Hirsen, your host. And don't forget, you can leave a comment or a question or a concern on the number that is toll-free, a message line, 888-260-4460. Be sure and visit our website, LegalSurvivalShow.com, LegalSurvivalShow.com. We're going to be right back after this message. Stay tuned.
James Hirsen will be right back with more of the Legal Survival Show.
This is a listener-supported show, and you can help keep it on the air. Keep the Legal Survival Show on the air. It's a public service of the nonprofit Justice and Freedom Fund because we want you to have access to the best resources, the best information. It's necessary for you to have that in order to make informed decisions for yourselves, your family, and help us support this, because we want you to be able to protect your faith, your family, your finances, your property, your privacy, and your freedom. Visit the website at LegalSurvivalShow.com. You click on the tab at the top of the page that says Donate. You can make a one-time donation or become a regular supporter. Any help that you can provide is greatly appreciated. And check it often because we have special free gifts, free information on the site. Help us continue to bring this show into your homes and workplaces by visiting LegalSurvivalShow.com. Or you can call toll-free at 888-260-4460. That's 888-260-4460. Welcome back to the Legal Survival Show. This is James Hirsen, your host, and as I've mentioned, we have this great message line. As you listen to this material, which you, I'm sure, have not heard anywhere else. You may have comments, questions, concerns, ideas. You'd like to support the show? You can call toll-free 888-260-4460. Is someone going to be watching you while you watch your TV? Well, that's the subject today of our 3D alert.
The 3D alert.
Now, why do we call it a 3D alert? Well, that's because there's some people out there that want to deceive you. They want to defraud you. Sometimes they want to destroy you. People of faith have been warned to be on the alert for this sort of thing. And look, to use a term at times, we use the term Orwellian It refers to George Orwell's 1984, where people were being watched everywhere they went. I mean, they used the term Big Brother. But I can report to you that there is new technology that would allow cable companies to look at you while you're watching TV, to look into your home, to monitor your viewing habits, but more importantly, to look at your reactions to their ads. Look, the cable industry is sitting on this huge pile of big data. Last week, we covered big data. They have all the information of everything you like to watch. I mean, that data was used actually in the last election. We covered that on a previous show. And look, it's taken them years to understand this data, to cross-reference this data. This TV set-top data, they refer to it as audience metrics. You know how we get these euphemisms that sound so benign? And it's a hot topic in the cable industry, and it promises money, but it also has potentially a huge effect on our rights, on our legal rights, on our legal right to privacy. But right now, cable company enthusiasm in their trades is very high. And it doesn't get more Orwellian when technology allows these cable companies to look at you while you're watching TV. I mean, it's caught the attention of at least one news network. It's the Fox Business Network, as the anchor introduced it this way.
Picture this, cameras in your cable box. Marketers want to watch your response to their ads with microphones and with cameras.
They want to watch you. Now, I mean, there's nothing like relaxing at home on the couch or the easy chair, turning on your favorite show. Think about the way you dress when you sit in front of the TV at home. Do you really want a camera looking at you? The technology, by the way, includes microphones to listen to you and what you say. And these would be installed on these DVRs, these digital recorders for on-demand recorders that are included sometimes, and in cable boxes. And ostensibly, at least reportedly, at least they say, it's going to analyze your response, your behavior, and what you say to various ads so that companies can then shape their ads, target them, make them more influential. Oh, incidentally, they can monitor sleeping, eating, exercising, reading. Basically, watch your life. So you wonder yourself, okay, why would they do this? Why would the cable companies do this? Well, reportedly, this is why.
First, they started monitoring our likes and dislikes through the internet. Now media companies are considering watching what we do in the privacy of our own homes in hopes of better tailoring television ads to our interests.
I mean, the idea, the whole purpose of this, ostensibly, that's a fancy word, by the way. So they say would be another word for ostensibly. So they say it's to find out what we desire, what we want. Let's listen to that clip one more time.
First, they started monitoring our likes and dislikes through the internet. Now media companies are considering watching what we do in the privacy of our own homes in hopes of better tailoring television ads to our interests.
Now, look, I have to point out, there are some people, when I was researching for the show, I mean, I saw things on the web. There are some people who believe that in some cases, cable companies are already doing this. I have no evidence of that either way. So this Big Brother TV monitoring officially hasn't been deployed. But I can report to you, the listeners of the Legal Survival Show, you out there listening to KBRT 740 AM, that AOL, very big company, remember AOL, it used to be called America Online, that they're already working on this. They have a technology that they've already developed. AOL.
AOL has partnered up with Real Eyes, which makes software that measures people's emotional reactions as they watch video ads.
It's so a company called Real Eyes. I love these names. Really, I do. And AOL is a big company, but perhaps a bigger company, Verizon, last year filed a patent. And in the patent, it talked about this kind of monitoring technology. They would use infrared cameras and microphones. Now, if you are not familiar with infrared cameras, they can, in essence, see through walls because they operate on heat. They can see shadowy figures through walls. And they would track and collect consumer behavior in the vicinity of a TV or mobile device. Mobile device? I think that's called a cell phone or smartphone. And would have a microphone. Verizon filed this patent. It could detect ambient action like what I mentioned before, eating, exercising, reading, sleeping, basically our whole life.
Verizon also filed a patent application last fall that would allow the company to use cameras, proximity sensors, microphones, thermal sensors, among other things, to detect a, quote, ambient action performed by a user during presentation of the media content program, selecting an advertisement associated with the detected ambient actions.
And ambient actions are eating, exercising, reading, sleeping, etc., living. Thermal technology. Thermal sensory devices. Thermal meaning they're testing for heat. Like, for example, easily with technology, it can be adjusted so that human temperature is creating an image of that particular temperature so that there's an image of each person who's in the house, anywhere in the house. Cameras in your cable box. And the companies say, well, we're just doing it to find out your interests. So what do the companies learn from that?
Snuggle up to someone on the couch and you might see a commercial with a romance theme. Have a snack and you might see a food ad.
So they're going to customize the ads with computer software to what is perceived by the cameras and the microphones. So let's say, for example, they sense that the people are exercising. Well, all of a sudden, on your screen appears nutrition and exercise products, Suzanne Summers' latest new thigh reducer, something like that. I mean, that, is relatively innocent compared to what the potential use could be. Cameras in your cable box. I don't know how you feel about this, but in the era that we are in, where we have had revelations about information being used by big companies and shared without our permission, information being used by government without our knowledge, this kind of activity is very, very troubling. This is James Hirsen. I'm with the Legal Survival Show, and we're on every week at this time. And I'm sure this is disturbing news to you, you may have some thoughts about it. You can express those thoughts on a message line. It's toll-free. We'll play your comments on the air. It's 888-260-4460. That's 888-260-4460. You can also reach us, and if you have any questions, by email. Ask James, that's me, at LegalSurvivalShow.com. Ask James at LegalSurvivalShow.com. That's our website, by the way, LegalSurvivalShow.com. Lots of goodies there, free stuff. So don't go away. When we come back, you will hear about amazing legislation that is being proposed in Congress called the We Are Watching You Act of 2013. unbelievable. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's the Legal Survival Show with James Hirsen.
Here at the Legal Survival Show, we love our listeners. We hope you love us too. This radio program is a public service of a nonprofit organization. So go to the website at LegalSurvivalShow.com. That's LegalSurvivalShow.com. Click the tab on the top of the page. It says the word donate. That way you can make a one-time donation or become a regular supporter. Any help you can provide is greatly appreciated. Or you can call toll-free at 888-260-4460. That's 888-260-4460. And we're back at the Legal Survival Show. This is James Hirsen, your host, where we discuss. I'm an attorney and law professor, as you know, and it's a different kind of talk show. We talk about different kinds of subjects, and today, unbelievable stuff. I mean, as I mentioned in the first segment, you see it, you think it's like one of these hoaxes, an internet hoax, or, you get these email hoaxes. You think it's a hoax. The idea that there's technology that includes cameras and microphones that are being seriously proposed by big companies to be put into your DVR or your cable box to watch you, to listen to you. And so they say, AKA ostensibly, they're going to monitor your response, your behavior, what you do, so they can tailor ads toward you, which, very well may be part of what this is about. People watching you eat, watching you exercise, watching you read, watching whatever you do, watching you pray, watching you read the Bible, watching you clean your firearm. If you start to think about it, there's a reason for privacy. And there's something viscerally, and you can kind of hear it even in the anchor's voice as Fox News Business covers this.
Picture this, cameras in your cable box. Marketers want to watch your response to their ads with microphones and with cameras.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I think of my family, I think of my friends, and just there's a feeling when they get home, and especially when they're in the room that the television is in, which is usually the living room, there's a feeling of relaxation. This is my special private space. We got to have this private space. So everyone is, that I've discussed this with, they say, well, why in the world would these companies want to listen to me and watch me in my own home?
First, they started monitoring our likes and dislikes through the internet. Now media companies are considering watching what we do in the privacy of our own homes in hopes of better tailoring television ads to our interests.
So the idea, at least so they say, is to tailor the ads. They watch us. They see what we do. We like to eat pizza. They can tell by the shape of the food. Oh, well, let's have some pizza ads. Ad infinitum. We like to buy online. All of a sudden, we have ads for online retailers. So you would think to yourself, okay, if cable companies are seriously thinking of watching us in our own homes, and we do have this thing called the Fourth Amendment, this pesky notion that we shouldn't be deprived of our special space, that we should have places reserved where we have an expectation of privacy. There's a bipartisan bill. Both a Democrat and a Republican have joined together. Representative Walter Jones, a Republican from North Carolina, and Representative Michael Capuano, a Democrat from Massachusetts, they've introduced a bill that would stop technology, TV video services, cable companies from monitoring, from viewing using cameras and or microphones in the set-top boxes or the DVRs in order to analyze viewing behavior and serve up these targeted ads. They've called this the We Are Watching You Act of 2013. And it would prohibit these cable companies and other video services from collecting visual or audio data anywhere, in the vicinity of this device, unless we agree. We give our consent. But watch out, because those things you sign, you agree to online when you sign up, we're going to have to pay very close attention to those policies, those opt-in documents. Because, in fact, the terms of service, as they're called, they're going to possibly have this consent built in if this act passes. It's caught the attention even of video gamers because, there's that Xbox Kinect has a camera in it so that it can, display you on the screen when you're doing these dance routines and all that stuff. And so it's caught the attention of a YouTube channel, Jumpin' Productions, who talks about the act.
Apparently, a couple congressmen are actually trying to pass a bill right now in Congress called the We Are Watching You Act. It's somewhat of an anti-Kinect bill. What it will do is that it will give the consumer rights to be able to not actually have to have a device like the Kinect in their living room. You pretty much would have the right to choose, do you want it or do you not want it? Do you want to pay for it? Now, this bill would eliminate the ability of a company to say that something is mandatory for you to purchase or for you to have that can potentially spy on you, that can listen or watch you.
Now, the legislation, the We Are Watching You Act, it had some statements that were released by the co-sponsors. And it says, for a few years now, we've been hearing about these TV-related devices that have built-in cameras and microphones, and their stated purpose is to monitor consumers and gather data to target advertising. And it talks about getting out ahead of the release of this new technology, passing this legislation, and ensuring that it would include privacy protections for us. This is a good thing. And the bill requires a cable box or a set-top device actually notify audience members, consumers, when the monitoring technology is activated, that it will actually post the phrase, quote, "We are watching you," unquote, across the TV screen. Can you imagine this? You're in your house, you accidentally agreed to the terms of service, and you're sitting there, maybe not dressed in the best clothes, chomping on some snacks, watching some sports, and all of a sudden, across the screen, you see the letters, "We are watching you." I don't know about you, but I'd unplug the thing right then and there. One of the things that Representative Capuano said, he said, this may sound preposterous, and it does. And then he went on, he said, but it's neither a joke nor an exaggeration. These DVRs would essentially observe consumers as they watch television. It's an incredible invasion of privacy. Let's hear a little bit more from the Fox News report on Jones's bill.
Now, but while all this monitoring hasn't been deployed yet, Democratic Congressman Michael Capuano has already introduced a new bill that would stop companies from being able to use it without express permission from consumers. The We Are Watching You Act of 2013 would also require that viewers who opt in be notified with a We Are Watching You message on the screen every time they're being monitored and are kept apprised of what information is being collected and how it will be used. The bill's also co-sponsored by Republican Congressman Walter Jones.
Now, that makes it a bipartisan bill. I understand it has some pretty good support. And if you're interested in getting it passed, call your local congressman. It's easy to remember the We Are Watching You bill of 2013. And as Representative Capuano said, it sounds preposterous. He says it's not a joke. In essence, what he's saying is, I'm not kidding. Well, I'm not kidding either, but I'll tell you what, it's interesting to see the way the Fox Business anchors reacted to this subject at the end of the report.
That's creepy. Can you imagine? We are watching you.
Big brother everywhere.
No.
You know, I agree with them. It's truly creepy. This is James Hirsen with the Legal Survival Show. And remember, you may have some comments or concerns, ideas. You want to support our show. You can call toll-free 888-260-4460. Toll-free 888-260-4460. Please leave a message. And also emails. Ask James at LegalSurvivalShow.com. Ask James at LegalSurvivalShow.com. Also, we will not watch you. If you leave a message, we will not watch you. We will respect your privacy. This is James Hirsen with the Legal Survival Show. We'll be right back.
James Hirsen will be right back with more of the Legal Survival Show.
Here at the Legal Survival Show, we love our listeners. We hope you love us too. This radio program is a public service of a nonprofit organization. So go to the website at LegalSurvivalShow.com. That's LegalSurvivalShow.com. Click the tab on the top of the page. It says the word donate. That way you can make a one-time donation or become a regular supporter. Any help you can provide is greatly appreciated. Or you can call toll-free at 888-260-4460. That's 888-260-4460. Welcome back to the Legal Survival Show. This is James Hirsen. And listen, I want to thank all of you for listening into the Legal Survival Show this week and every week at this time on KBRT. And also, I'd like to thank the Fox Business Network and Jumpin' Productions for these wonderful sound bites. You know you can leave a question or comment. Toll-free 888-260-4460. Also visit our website, LegalSurvivalShow.com. And we'll be back next week to bring you justice with a capital J.